Welcome back, everyone. I'm Danny the Dinosaur Drawer, and today I'm going to be showing you all how to draw my first hybrid. So yeah, we discussed this on the live stream about a week ago, and a lot of you guys wanted me to draw my own hybrids. So we came up with three, so this will be like a trilogy, 3 episodes on how to draw 3 different hybrids. And the one we're drawing today is Milophosaurus. So Milophosaurus is a cross between Dilophosaurus and Mosasaurus, and I hope you guys enjoy the way I constructed it. So we're basically gonna have the Dilophosaurus head on a Mosasaurus body. And then maybe add some spikes or some cool things to our drawing. So yeah, the first thing we're gonna do is put in an outline. I did a quick sketch of this beforehand, so I wouldn't completely mess it up because I'm really just making it up as I go. So have an oval for the top of the head and put in the bottom jaw like so. Remember, Dilophosaurus has got those crests, but sort of the head is going to be like half Mosasaurus, half Dilophosaurus. That's going to be the cool part about it. So we want to have sort of an elongated head. But right now we're just putting in the outline, so don't worry too much about the details. Then right away we're going to put in the body of the Milophosaurus, and I'm going to have the tail curved off in that direction. And since it's an aquatic creature, it's going to have flippers. I might make them a little smaller there. I think I'm going to put in the back flippers over here, and the tail. The tail gets much wider at the back to help it propel itself through the water. And then we're going to have the fan, the frill, that pops out of the Dilophosaurus' neck, or right behind the head, as shown in the Jurassic Park movie. So we're going to add that in as well. So this looks like a pretty cool hybrid. And yeah, let's dive in with the refinement and detail. So for the next stage of our drawing, I have a 3B graphite pencil, an eraser, nice eraser, and then a stick eraser, this eraser stick that comes in very handy for like erasing more detailed lines. And again, the mechanical pencil, which will do most of the work. So we're going to start from left to right, since I'm right-handed. I don't want to smudge everything. So yeah, let's start by putting in a little line here. So remember, we're drawing it as a Mosasaurus, but with Dilophosaurus features. So both of them are like crossed, but I think the Mosasaurus has the predominant genes in this case. So the head is going to be sort of shaped like the Dilophosaurus head, but you can obviously tell it's Mosasaurus. Then we'll have the little crest here. So that's rounded at the top, like so. Now we'll put the other side. It's got double crests. And for each crest, let me just first take the eraser and erase the lines that are in the way. So I definitely recommend you guys check into getting like an eraser stick. An electric eraser would be even better if your budget allows that. Having a good eraser is almost as important as having a good pencil. Also, having one that can clean up easily is nice. Let's put a little eye ridge, like an eyebrow, which will be on top of the eye. Let's put in the eye, sort of like an almond shape there. Put in the pupil, and put a few wrinkles around it. The eyelid, like so. So yeah, I can't believe I haven't done this before. My channel is already 3 years old, and never thought of making my own hybrid, but I'm so glad you guys have encouraged me to do so, because this is going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to do the other ones as well to see how they turn out. So yeah, we're going to put these lines on the side of the crest here, like so. Put some more shadows near the bottom. So guys, this might interest you. I finally started my own official Danny the Dinosaur Drawer Instagram account. This is just, it's mine. I also co-run an account called Draw Sketcha, but this new account, Danny the Dinosaur Drawer, is just me by myself. So I will have a link to that in the description below, in case you guys want to follow me on Instagram. And it's a public account, so you don't have to worry about being like, you don't have to request to follow me. And yeah, I'm going to be posting pretty much everything I draw on my YouTube channel, plus some other stuff that never makes it onto YouTube. So yeah, I would highly encourage you guys to check that out. I started it just last week and already I have like 50 followers, which is pretty amazing without me advertising it at all. So let's put in a little cavity here on the side of the on the side of the face. Sorry guys, I'm just clearing my throat because I had a little bit of a cold last week. You might have noticed it during the live stream. But it can be quite problematic when you're a YouTuber and you have to film YouTube videos every week. And if you get sick, then people are wondering why you're not posting. But if you're wondering, yeah, why I wasn't doing any tutorials, it's because I lost my voice. So yeah, we're going to put in some lines here coming up from the gum. And you can all of course add some scales, but I'm not going to be doing that today. Maybe a little bit, just to keep the tutorial a little shorter, because sometimes the tutorials can get really long. So it's going to have a narrow, relatively narrow bottom jaw, similar to Dilophosaurus. I'm thinking of giving it, well, I guess the teeth of Mosasaurus and Dilophosaurus are similar. So we're just going to put in like regular dinosaur teeth. Put in the muscle that snaps the jaw closed. We'll put in the tongue right here. Make sure it's nice and dark there in the back of the throat to give it more depth. Then we take the eraser stick and we'll erase a little bit right about here. So we can put in our teeth. Two rows. So yeah, we gotta put in some shading on the bottom jaw. So we'll do that. Might use the 3B pencil. It's a softer, darker tone. Like so. And yeah, let's put some scales on the very edge of the gum right here, the lips, I guess. And here's where the eraser, big eraser, comes in handy. When you have to erase bigger portions. It's going to erase this general area, because we're just going to redraw the frill. So yeah, the frill of Dilophosaurus can be a little bit complicated to draw. I've only drawn it once myself, because I don't know, I just never have drawn Dilophosaurus. Like maybe once or twice, but yeah, I never really drew Dilophosaurus, but it's sort of got like a uneven edge to it. And I guess if it's in the water, it would be very hard to keep this open, like so. Maybe it opens it when it jumps out of the water or something like that. That would have been a cool idea as well, to have the Milophosaurus jumping out of the water. Yeah, so I'd probably just extend this like when it's jumping out of the water, you know, like one of those flying fish. But when it's under the water, it would have the flaps close to its neck, so it could shoot through the water more easily. So I'm thinking that we're gonna have at the edge of these frills a much darker color. Like so. And there are all sorts of patterns you can put on the frill. But I'm gonna make this one pretty simple. I'm just here to teach you guys the basic outline and not really all the tiny details. I do have some other videos, like when I'm drawing a dinosaur head, then we go into much more detail. But when it's a full body drawing, you can leave some of the detail out. You have to be very careful with pencils that are like 2B or anything darker than that, because they smudge very easily. So now I'm going to have some lines protruding from the back of the head. Get the mechanical pencil out again. Make some longer, thinner sections. Whoever was the designer of the Dilophosaurus in Jurassic Park was a real genius, because that thing became very popular. And of course all the experts always are saying like, oh, that was just a guess and we don't really think it had the frill, but it still made the Dilophosaurus look twice as cool. And the fact that they made it spit poison just made it one of the most iconic and coolest dinosaurs from the first Jurassic Park. Who knows, it could be in the next Jurassic movie. I'm pretty sure they're gonna do that. Oftentimes, when it's like a final sequel in a bunch of movies, they usually bring back a few things from the first movie. So I feel they're going to do that for this last Jurassic movie. It's going to be so sad when they stop making the Jurassic World movies. So yeah, now we got we got the Dilophosaurus part pretty much down on our creature. And now we can move on to the body. So I'm thinking that we might add maybe some claws to the flipper here. I'm still undecided. That could be a cool thing to add. Just make it more of a hybrid. Like maybe add the claws like right about here. Maybe 3 or 4. Thinking maybe we should make it look a little bit more like fingers. So each one has like a little knob here. Something like that, yeah. That's cool. Because when you're meshing two animals together, you're gonna have some crazy results. So let's put in the other opposite flipper. Also have the 3 claws. And this one we will put in a lot of shading, like so. Put a lot of shading on the opposite flipper. This one we can have some curved lines coming from the front of the flipper and have them going towards the back. So we'll give it some shape, but also just give it some more color. So I'm just adding some general color to this, because you don't really want it to leave it all white, you know. See how let's get this body under control. Erase some of the mess from the original outline, like so. Now there's not much we can change about the body to make it look more like a Dilophosaurus, so I think we'll just leave it pretty much like this. Give it a stomach. So when you're not putting scales in or stripes or stuff, the shadows are the only way to really make the drawing look good. So that's what we're doing right now. I'm just going to add some cross hatching to the stomach here. The shoulder blade will be right about there. I guess the lats would be right about up here. That is like the back muscle. Though, I think on sea creatures, I wonder if their chest is what they use more. Like birds when they're flying. Because they're pushing down and stuff. But you have to pull back up, so that's where the lats would come in handy. That's the back muscle right there. Or latimus, if you want to use the long word. So yeah, the torso looks pretty good at this point. I don't think we have to add much more. Let's add the back flipper. And this one I think we can leave out the claws. At least I'm going to. You guys can add whatever you want to it. Take this big eraser and just erase all this smudge. That's one nice thing about pen, is when you're using a pen after you've finished it, usually it won't smudge. You have to be a little careful while you're drawing with pen, because sometimes if you put a lot of ink down, it'll still be wet and it can smudge over the paper. And then that's really dangerous because erasing it is very hard. So again, we're just adding some shading and refinement to these flippers. Oh, here it is. Get this 3B pencil involved. Like so. Let's see, now we can start working on the tail. So this tail is going to be completely a Mosasaurus tail. The big flipper on the back. It's like Mosasaurus is similar to like a crocodile. The best way to propel itself through the water was using its tail, which gave it an advantage over the plesiosaurs like Elasmosaurus or Styxosaurus, because their tail was very stubby, so they had to use just their flippers, the front, the fins, I guess. But Mosasaurus could use the tail and the flippers, which probably gave it a great speed. Like, who knows, it could have maybe outswam a Megalodon or something like that. Because Megalodon's a huge shark, and the bigger sharks get, like basking sharks and whale sharks, they move very slow through the water. They're very much like whales. They don't have a lot of speed in them. The Mosasaurus, I would say, would be like the type of creature that has a quick burst of energy, similar to crocodiles, where they could just they would probably hide in some seaweed or something. I don't know. They'd somehow hide and then ambush their prey, and they could probably outswim it with their huge tail and flippers. So yeah, I think they would probably use a burst of energy to quickly outswim the prey. So I'm gonna use my smudging tool. I rarely use this, but since we're drawing no scales, I think it's going to be useful. If you don't have one of these, feel free to just use your finger. It'll work just as fine, just as well. And before I had a set of these, I used to roll up a piece of paper and tape it so it would stay rolled up, and use that as a smudging tool, and it worked pretty well. But yeah, if you have one of these, great, you can use them. They are pretty effective. Sometimes I can overdo it though if I smudge too much, but for the most part it does a pretty good job. And people, for some reason, when they see like a lot of smudging and stuff like on the artwork, they think it's much more professional. I don't know why. Because they don't see all the pencil lines. They're like, oh wow, how did you draw that? I don't even see the lines. I'm like, yeah, because I smudged them all. But yeah, I've had several experiences where people said that, like, when they see something like this where it's smudged, they wonder how I did it. So how did your pencil do such a smooth line? Or like, you must have drawn tons and tons of, or put a lot of work into that drawing. So yeah, I think our drawing is pretty much done. I'm just clean up a tiny bit more with my eraser. And now we just need to sign our drawing. I'm probably going to sign mine right here next to the back flipper. I'll put in the date and like a little copyright sign there, because this is completely Danny the Dinosaur Drawer's invention, the Milophosaurus, with the help of you guys who are my subscribers. And comment below if you were in the live stream when we were discussing this, because I forget who was there and who was the ones like recommending me to Dilophosaurus and Mosasaurus as a hybrid. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun, and yeah, it'll be so cool to add this to my portfolio, because I can say that I invented it. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. If you have not already subscribed, please do so. Give this video a like, and as I told you earlier in the video, please go check my Instagram out. I only have a handful of pictures on right now, but I will be posting regularly. So yeah, I'll see you guys there. Thanks so much for watching.